Louis Vuitton and their sales. Now, if you remember, beginning of 2025, Louis Vuitton launched right after New Year's Eve the Takashi Murakami for Louis Vuitton collaboration. The super flat with the panda, the onion head, and they also launched the multicolor monogram patterns, which were all of the rage back in the early 2000s. So we're talking 25 years ago. The Y2K era was back in full throttle. Now, what happened? They were expecting probably one of the reasons why I think they were pushing it to 2025, the collection, was because that's when the first earnings quarter report of 2025 begins. So the first 3 months of 2025 have to be then reported to their shareholders because LVMH/Louis Vuitton is a publicly owned company. And their earnings were not so good in the past year. Bernard Arnault, poor Bernard, being a multi-hundred-billion-dollar person, lost a couple billion. Okay. We should start a GoFundMe for Bernard. Seriously, Let us peasants help a billionaire become richer again. So, and then, he announced, okay, we're going to do the Takashi Murakami collection launching beginning of the year, separated in 3 parts. First part in January for the super flat and the multicolor. And then we're going to have a second part in March for the cherry blossoms, March, April. And then I think in May, they're going to do the cherries. Now, I thought to myself, oh, they're going to do this because they want to up their numbers. They want to make it seem like they're doing much better this year, right? Because they did terrible, in my humble opinion, last year. Now, everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. Subscribe while you're at it. Thumb up the video. Let's get to 100K. Thank you so much for subscribing, you guys. So we have several issues here. The problem with the launch at the beginning of the year of the Takashi Murakami for Louis Vuitton retrospective re-edition collection was really hard to obtain. Sales associates were talking to their return customers saying, well, you haven't purchased enough to warrant putting you on a pre-order list. I cannot get this item for you. You haven't spent enough. I'm like, whoa, since when did we start doing Louis Vuitton like we're doing Hermes in America? That is insane. What is going on here? Do you want to make money or not? Your earning reports are not as good. Why are you doing this? You could make so much money with this. Why are you not making more of these items? Huge issues. People were not getting the items that they wanted. They were not allowed to pre-order. And if you were allowed to pre-order, then the items maybe did not arrive. Then if the items arrived, then you didn't get the special Takashi Murakami shopping bag because they didn't get the shopping bags in time, or you didn't get the ribbon, or you didn't get the little cardboard characters, or you didn't get the proper tissue paper. It was a mess. Or you didn't get the stickers that came with the purchase. Or, like me, you ordered online an item that you saw available on the Louis Vuitton website, and it said shipping in 4 business days, 2 to 4 business days, and I waited for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they never shipped. And then I had to fight to get my money back. I canceled the order, and then I started realizing, wait a minute, they're collecting all this money from us, and this is not for a pre-order. This is for an item that is clearly stated on their website that it is available and in stock, ready to ship. And I made a video about this. Go check out my video about this situation where we realized, hold on a minute, I made this video and a lot of people started commenting saying, Dacob, it happened to me as well. I ordered something that said it's available in stock from Takashi Murakami, Louis Vuitton. It wasn't arriving. It wasn't shipping. And finally we realized, are they keeping our money to invest it, to use it as some form of extra money that they, instead of going to the bank to ask for a loan with interests, they keep our money. And so it looks like their portfolio is bigger, like they got more money in the bank. And I thought, well, that's interesting. They can use that for their quarterly earnings report, couldn't they? So I thought, well, that's a little scammy, allegedly, in my opinion. And then this hugely anticipated and awaited relaunch of the Takashi Murakami collection. So many people wanted it. Not many could get it because there was almost nothing available. And I'm like, what a way to not know how to milk it. If you already had troubles with your earnings, Louis Vuitton last year in the first quarter, why would you do this year? And then the Cherry Blossom collection came a couple of weeks ago. Also, a very strange way of ordering online. You would go on the website and then they would put you in a wait line and you couldn't access the actual website. There was a clock ticking, counting backwards until you could access the product that you wanted. Terrible, terrible. This is not luxury. This is vulgar. Okay, I'm sorry. If I'm going to spend $2,000 on a canvas bag, which of course is not worth $2,000, but it is what it is. They charge you for it. I'm supposed to like click frantically like an idiot on the refresh button on the website in the hopes that it's not going to sell. This is not supreme. This is not high snobiety. This is not some sneaker Yeezy feast. What has Louis Vuitton become? Trash. Well, the numbers are in. The numbers are in. Louis Vuitton sales disaster. First quarter of 2025 was bad. Was bad. They have had a 3% decline compared to last year's first quarter. Apparently, the Takashi Murakami collection did not help after all boost their numbers. Oopsie. And if you add to that the fact that last year's numbers of the first quarter were not as good as, were lower than 2023's first quarter, then you just, and 2025's first quarter was worse than 2024's first quarter. That means we have a progressive decline in sales from year to year to year. So the 3% of this year, you should actually add it to the, I don't know, what was their percentage last year? You add it to the percentage of last year, and then you have a percentage overview of how much lower it is according to the last year when they were still growing from year to year, because they stopped growing and now they're going down and down and down. Bernard Arnault then apparently had this outburst somewhere when they met in the European Union talking about all of the situation with the world going on and all of the, money being demanded by certain countries to do certain things. I'm not going to even say it because, and now he's all upset. Like, it's Europe's fault if they don't know how to negotiate deals. I'm like, hold on a minute. Why do you always have to point fingers at everybody else? Bernard Arnault, look at yourself for a second. Look at your factories. Look at your manufacturing. The people that did get the Takashi Murakami stuff, for the most part, were complaining about the lack of quality. The people that did get their Takashi Murakami for Louis Vuitton first drop had issues with wavy, bubbly canvas, stitches either popped or asymmetrical, not aligned monogram. If you have two panels that are usually aligned, it would be like misaligned. The few people that did manage to get these items were not happy with the quality, allegedly. The ones that didn't get them, like I did, paid, like I paid, but never got the item, so you got to keep the money until I fought to get my money back. And most other people didn't even get an opportunity to even order it online because it was gone from the website. So, Bernard, you're looking at everybody else for fault. Everybody else is wrong. The customers are at fault. The customers are the idiots who should be spending more to maintain your multi-billion fortune. No, honey boo boo chai, how about you stop producing so much? We don't need a new Louis Vuitton bag collection every 10 days. How about we rein it back into the classics? How about we dedicate ourselves to actual quality? And then you'll see, and also quit being a greedy biatch, always asking for more, price increase, price increase. Price increase. It's insanity. Stop it with the bullshitting. I know that these bags are not worth that much. You are charging way too much. Why is it that every time LVMH buys another company, takes it over, they mess it up epically? They did it to Tiffany. I cannot recognize Tiffany's anymore. after LVMH took over. They did it to Birkenstock. They bought Birkenstock. What did they do? The first thing they did with Birkenstock is not like, oh, let's see how we can make these shoes even better, these sandals even better, ugly as they are. How can we make them even better? No, the first thing they do when they took over, let's up the price. Let's gouge the price. I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. Why? Just because you took over? What the hell? People are complaining about the quality of Birkenstock shoes now, allegedly, as well. So we're in a position here where I think, okay, the second your company goes public and there are shareholders involved, that's the moment when quality starts dying. Exception being for Hermès, because they have really fought to preserve that tempo, slower tempo. You don't see Hermès doing 10 fashion collections a year. You don't see Hermès popping out new bags every 2 weeks. They're still at a pace. They still know how to do it. But when you get too greedy, this is what you get. This is what you get. You got very, very greedy, in my opinion, and this is where we are right now. Sorry. Good luck next year. Good luck to the next first quarter of 2026. Looking forward to seeing those numbers. Huh? After you probably are going to increase your prices 1st of May with the 10% tariff going in place. Gee, I wonder, Mr. Bernard Arnault, are you really going to up the products from Louis Vuitton in America 10% because of the tariffs? Because didn't you have factories in California and in Texas? Aren't those factories there to avoid the tariffs? So technically, the bags that you manufacture in Texas should not receive the 10% price increase if they're made on American soil. Are you going to be honest and fair to your consumer in the States? Are you going to offer those American bags, American-made bags, without the surcharge of 10% when the tariffs kick in? I wonder. And what would the client do when they came to a Louis Vuitton boutique shop and saw a Speedy made in France and then the same exact Speedy made in the US, and they have 2 different prices? You're not going to want that. You're not going to want to charge for one Speedy less than for the other. It's bad image, right? All of your bags are the same quality. Yeah, but sorry, boo-boo, it doesn't fly with me. Again, it looks like a money grab. It looks like being greedy, like, oh yeah, I'm going to open a factory here to maximize profits. Okay, and what benefit do we get as a consumer? What benefit do we get as a consumer from your little factory in Texas? Where you, as per your interview, which we analyzed just a couple of days ago on my channel here, they stated that 40% of the bags made in that factory, they got to throw them away. They don't pass quality control because they're produced terribly. Allegedly. 40%, they say in the article. 40% of those bags don't end up on the sales floor. And the 60% that do miraculously make it to the sales floor, many customers, when they get their made in USA Louis Vuitton bags, they return them for some quality control issues. I'm not saying all customers do, but a lot have been complaining. Allegedly. So good luck to you, Bernard. I wish you the best. I love the heritage of Louis Vuitton, but I also am very well aware of the fact that Louis Vuitton, the luxury travel brand, was not founded by you. You bought it. Okay, so the Louis Vuitton that is in my dreams, in my fantasy, this romantic vision of an Agatha Christie novel, Murder on the Orient Express, where every passenger has their Louis Vuitton suitcases with them, like those days are gone, those dreams are gone. That the Louis of today is no longer the Louis of yesteryear. But in my dream and in my reminiscing, for me, I still have the romantic vision of Louis Vuitton from back in the day. Even though I'm very well aware of the fact that there's nothing left from back in the day because you just made it about money. Sad. This is where we are, 2025. What a year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thumb up the video and subscribe. Let's get to 100K.